Kindly remove your hats for the national anthem of the United States of America, as performed today by the star of Tina Turner, the musical, Adrienne Warren.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, all the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets glad, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the
And now, to sing the national anthem of Great Britain, please welcome English classical crossover singer Camilla Kerslake.
God save our gracious Queen, long live our noble Queen. God save the Queen, send her victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us. God save the
Welcome back to Wembley Stadium, everyone. There's a little cloudy thing on that graphic, but there isn't a cloud in the sky that we can see. It's a beautiful day. 18 degrees Celsius translates to 64 degrees. Melanie Collins now on the Tennessee Titans and what they're looking at today. Melanie.
Thank you, Greg. Well, the Titans didn't just watch back their own film this week in preparation. They watched the Oakland-Seattle game to get a better idea of the field conditions here at Wembley Stadium. And I've been down here for about 2 hours walking around. It is slick, it is wet, and it is mushy, but the Titans came prepared. Instead of wearing their usual rubber molded cleats, they'll be wearing these 7 studs, and the studs are set to 5/8 of an inch for this game. Every position group across the board will be wearing these except for the defensive line. So just another way for them to gain some extra footing on this slick soccer pitch here at Wembley Stadium.
Melanie, thank you. The Los Angeles Chargers have won the toss. They have deferred, which means the Tennessee Titans will get their hands on the football first. Our referee today is Walt Coleman.
And Greg, it's important for the Titans to get off to a fast start. They've struggled in the first half, particularly in the first quarter, just getting points on the board. When you consider what the Chargers have explosive-wise on their side of the ball offensively, they can put up a lot of points, so the Titans need to try and match some of that today.
That field, Melanie says, is mushy. Does that go with what you remember?
Definitely. Both fields were slick here, and it's going to be special teams are going to be huge in this game.
Darius Jennings from inside his own 5 has running room and out across the 35. He'll be marked down at about the 37-yard line, tackled by Adrian Phillips. We're talking about how the Tennessee Titans have to generate some offense today, and that starts with Marcus Mariota. Only 2 touchdown passes on the season. These Tennessee Titans have only scored 6 touchdowns in total.
Yeah, they believe in physicality. They want to make it a real grimy, tough ball game and knock it down field goal for field goal and not allow touchdowns, and they don't score too many either.
Derrick Henry in the backfield. And Henry nowhere to go. Brought down by Brandon Mebane. As you take a look at the Tennessee offensive lineup, they are missing Quinton Spain, their starting left guard. As is usually the case this time of year, the injuries start to stack up a little bit for every team. 2nd and 13. Henry again.
And that's going to be an important part of the game. Is the Tennessee needs to establish the run. You think Derrick Henry, with his size and his ability to push the pile, Mebane on the first down got penetration into the backfield and didn't let him go anywhere. That time it was just stacked up as they try and push the pile just to get back to the original line of scrimmage. This is not what the Titans want to be in, is 3rd and long.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Go run. And Marcus Mariota never gets into a rhythm throwing the football. His first pass is 3rd and 10. And to me, you don't want to put him in that situation.
He needs the 46-yard line for a first down. Mariota over the middle, got his man across midfield. It is complete to Tajay Sharp for a first down.
Excellent pass protection on that one.
Pass protection is a key. This is the Tennessee offensive line that allowed 11 sacks a week ago against the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, I think, Greg, some of those were on Marcus Mariota himself. He bolts from the pocket pretty quickly at times and sacks himself.
That time he stood in there. The Chargers brought 5 one-on-one across the board. The offensive linemen all held up in those one-on-one matchups, allowed him time to get it down the field for the first down.
From the LA 48, Mariota. Quick pass out of the backfield is Henry, and Henry with enough for another Tennessee first down.
That's what I like to see, Trent. A little more action on first down. They are the worst team, 31st in the league on first down yardage. They need to start opening it up more on first down instead of just pounding the middle and pounding the middle.
Well, and that's a strong suit with a team that has to run the ball. Getting the play action pass early on a run obvious down, or at least for the Titans a run obvious down. Quick decision by Mariota to get the ball out of his hands as Henry picked up the first down.
You saw there their lack of success on first down. That pass almost picked off at the line of scrimmage. Melvin Ingram found it right in his grip.
That was one of those RPOs against a 3-4 defense. You better make sure that outside linebacker is rushing if you're going to stop and throw that backside slant. That was almost a pick 6 for Melvin Ingram.
Ingram's going to be mad at himself, and Mariota is thankful that he dropped that because, as you said, Coach, the run was to the left. He just saw something from a coverage standpoint. He thought he could hit that inside slant right away, and Ingram wasn't biting on it. Nearly had the interception.
Dion Lewis into the backfield for Tennessee on 2nd and 10. Quick pass to Lewis. Lewis with running room inside the 30. And the collision there costs number 52 Denzel Perryman his helmet.
Again, a good job by Matt LaFleur. Little slip screen to the running back. Receivers are downfield blocking. Good gain on second down. Gives him a very manageable third down now.
3rd and 1 after a 9-yard pickup. Lewis still in the backfield. Mariota to throw for it. On the move, throwing, and that is complete to Lewis. Lewis has the first down and more. Marked out of bounds at about the 17-yard line. Knocked out by Melvin Ingram.
Well, and the Chargers at that time decided to go man-to-man once again on third down. Dion Lewis one-on-one in the open field with Derwin James, the outstanding rookie, was in position. Great job by Lewis to bring that ball in. A little bit low, but he gathered it in and worked up the sideline for the first down.
14-yard pickup. You saw the futility a week ago. Mariota with the keeper. Mariota inside the 10 and out of bounds.
Well, that's where he's so dangerous in the red zone, is all those read option plays. But the one thing about Marcus, he doesn't throw it a lot down here, but he is outstanding in the red zone. 41 touchdowns, no interceptions. But he's been outstanding for his entire career. And, you know, I'd like to see him throw a little bit more down here, Trent, as good as he's doing it, you know.
Hometown, Honolulu, Hawaii. That's the distance in kilometers. Earth mileage. 7,200 and change. Here's Dion Lewis. Lewis stuffed just inside the 10-yard line. Adrian Phillips coming up from his safety position. You know, we talked about that futility that Mariota and the Titans must be feeling. Mariota's had, coming into this game, 45 offensive drives, resulting in just 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, and again, they don't throw it to me enough down here on first down. And they did a job on the read option. This will be a huge third down for him right here.
On 3rd and 5, Mariota over the middle, incomplete at the 5, intended for Sharp. So this drive stalls, and onto the field comes the field goal unit.
Well, they're lucky they're getting a field goal attempt, because that ball could have and should have been picked off. Hits him right in the hands and gives Suck up this opportunity for, what do we have, about a 28-yarder here?
Yeah, Desmond King had that thing right in his hands. You know, Marcus looked left and never saw that poacher and that zone defense slide back with his eyes.
Suck up 13 of 14 for field goals on the season, and make it 14 of 15 with the 28-yarder. So the Tennessee Titans come out. They draw first blood to the River Thames here in London. Well, the Tennessee Titans with 3 points more on the board than they managed all last week against Baltimore. They were shut out by the Ravens, but an 11-play, 55-yard drive ends up in a field goal, not a touchdown.
Yeah, you're happy that you get points, but in the straits, dire straits that they have been in, they need touchdowns to beat Phillip Rivers.
Well, I think if you're the Titans, you're excited. You got some production. You converted some third downs. You moved it down the field. Yes, you ultimately want to get a touchdown, but the fact they got some points and put together a good opening drive, they've got to feel good about that.
Desmond King, 2 yards deep in the end zone, will keep it there, and they'll come out to the 25-yard line. Coach, talk about your game plan for the day.
Yeah, we just started with the touchdowns for the Tennessee Titans. Where are they going to come from and how are we going to get them? That one of the main reasons is defense create turnovers. They're going to have to get some short fields like that kickoff return they just had for the Chargers. Stay balanced with Melvin Gordon out. Don't get pass happy, and then defensively, 33. Derwin James is everywhere. It's going to be hard for the Titans to find out where he's at. Blitzing, deep safety, strong safety. He's everywhere.
Phillip Rivers is going to throw it on first down. They're going to go deep down the sideline. Got his man open and he hits him. This is Tyrell Williams for 75 yards and a touchdown.
Well, that's the explosive start the Chargers were hoping for. Get one-on-one on the outside, able to take advantage of it. Excellent throw by Rivers. The top of your screen, it's not a double move, it's not a hitch and go, it's not a curl fake, anything to it. It's just a track meet. The Chargers had a corner route underneath, and that's where the corner hesitated and got caught flat-footed.
Yeah, the corner looked inside. He was going to try to poach that 7 route and the corner route, and Phillip Rivers pumped him. He got him to bite just enough to get it over the top to Terrell Williams.
Michael Badgley's extra point is good, and you saw the congratulations on the sideline from Coach Anthony Lynn to Ken Wisenhunt, his offensive coordinator.
Yeah, they had to know a little something right there about the way the Titans play that technique on their corner, looking back inside to that number 2 receiver.
Well, that drive took all of 9 seconds.
When you consider the Titans defensively have only given up 10 touchdowns all season, number 2 in the NFL in terms of defensive touchdowns allowed. Not the kind of start for their defense they wanted.
You saw the look on rookie head coach Mike Vrabel's face. He's very upbeat about his team and about coming into this game.
Well, he was upbeat because he knows the formula that they need to have. They need to play good defense. They need to get turnovers. They need to run the football and use up the clock. And they did some of those things offensively, but defensively, he can't be happy with the way they've started.
Jennings will run this one out of the end zone. About 2 yards deep to the 20 and tripped up and forward to the 23-yard line. Let's go back to the touchdown.
Well, we're just going to take a look. Watch the corner at the top. He's got his eyes back to the quarterback. See the corner route by Keenan Allen? That causes that hesitation. It just gets him to freeze a little bit. He just freezes a step. Logan Ryan gets caught peeking in the backfield, and it was just Tyrell Williams. As we said, it was just a streak. It was just a go. And as soon as that little shoulder roll by Rivers got Logan Ryan looking at the corner route, you're beat at that point.
Saw Mike Vrabel rallying the defensive troops on the sideline. Meanwhile, Mariota going back to work, and again, it's on the ground, coach, out to the 25 and a pickup of 2.
Yeah, they're built on defense, special teams, and running the football. I'd just like to see Marcus Mariota be able to get into a little bit more of a rhythm rather than all of a sudden throw it on 3rd down every time.
Well, that's the hard part in the offense that they run, because so much of it centers around Mariota and his ability to run the football. But from a passing standpoint, as you said, Coach, you have to try and get in some kind of rhythm just to feel good about it when it is called.
And whistle, and Sharp may have moved on the offensive line.
False start, number 19, offense. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Tajay Sharp, 3rd-year wideout from UMass.
Yeah, it was one of those situations where Marcus Mariota was audible, and they give him a lot of checks at the line of scrimmage to match up the right runs. And wide receiver just jumped on his hard count.
Well, and I thought it was good with the hard count because he had the fullback was moving in motion. You go with the hard count, you think you're going to catch that defensive line and get an easy 5. Instead, your wide receiver flinches and you're backed up.
Mariota, crossing pattern underneath. That catch is made into close to the 25 is Corey Davis.
Boy, it's good to see him healthy, Trent. He is a dynamic young wide receiver. He was hurt his whole rookie year, and he's going to turn into one heck of a player for the Titans.
It's been pretty special what he's been able to. When you see him, when you see his route running ability, you see his speed, you see his size, his hands. Can't wait to see him put together a whole season. As you said, staying healthy.
Here's a 3rd and 8.
Go!
Mariota pulls it down and goes down. Number 93, Darius Philon with the sack, and that'll force the punt. On 4th and 12, Desmond King is deep. Brett Kern kicks it away. This is King at his 30. Gets outside. Penalty marker down behind him. He's down the sideline and pushed out just short of the 10-yard line by Dane Cruikshank, but there's a penalty flag close to the 30-yard line where Desmond King took it in.
They found something special in Desmond King about 4 games ago. Kelvin Benjamin got hurt. Travis Benjamin got hurt, and he stepped up as a punt returner, has been electric. And it's like talking to Anthony Lynn. There's nothing special about him. He just makes that first guy miss every time and hits the crease.
Well, that's exactly how Anthony was, Coach Lynn was describing him. He said, you know what, he may not have all the measurables you're looking for, and he's just a football player. And when you got a guy that knows how to play football, you find a way to get him on the field.
During the return, the illegal block at the back, number 32 of the return team. 10 yards, first down.
That's the rookie Justin Jackson, guilty of a penalty that wipes out a 57-yard return. We'll take a timeout.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Pepsi, the official soft drink of the NFL. Uber, doors are always opening. And by DirecTV, more for your thing. That's our thing.
This is that incredible shopping street, Regent Street, where visitors are welcome to take Trent Green's credit card and do the shop till you drop thing.
Yeah, I made sure to avoid that street. Exciting to go look, though.
Just under 7 minutes to play here in the first, and Rivers throwing on first down again. Out of the backfield is Eckler, and Eckler across the 30, and he has enough for a first down, I believe, at about the 33-yard line. Meanwhile, Phillip Rivers just having a terrific season in this, his 15th go-round in the NFL. 16 touchdown passes now, with the one that he threw on the first offensive play of the game for the Chargers, with just 3 interceptions.
Set. 380. Run.
The pitch for Eckler. Austin Eckler, just an impressive young running back, and they are not in horrible hands, giving him the football in place of an injured Melvin Gordon.
Well, and that's going to be the thing to see is how much do they use him today? How much of the load can he carry by himself? Because it has been such a 1-2 punch between Gordon and Eckler. Eckler came into today leading the league at 8.5 yards per touch. That's both catching and running the football, but he hasn't had to play the entire game. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of workload they give him today.
Pickup of 5 makes it 2nd and 5.
380. Run.
Eckler again. Eckler weaves his way right about the first down marker. And it is enough for a first down. Meanwhile, as you look at this Tennessee defense, they are missing a couple of linebackers. They're missing Derek Morgan, and they're missing Will Compton.
Kent Whisenhunt does a great job with a creative offense in the running game. They run the ball outside, which is very hard in the National Football League, better than just about anybody in the National Football League.
Set. 380. Run.
Rivers over the middle, wide open, close to the 40-yard line is Keenan Allen. And Allen inside the 40 to the 38-yard line, and another first down. Pickup of 24.
Well, there was nobody in the middle of the field for the Titans defense. Keenan Allen just goes up and sits down in the middle as the secondary is in zone. The underneath coverage bites. That's a pitch and catch right there in the middle of the field, Coach.
Yeah, you run the ball for a first down on first and second down. First down, boom, you go for the big chunk. The Chargers are second in the league with 7.6 per play on first down because they do take shots down the field.
380. Run.
Eckler couldn't quite get going. Rashaan Evans, the linebacker, with the first hit on him, a gain of 2. You know, we're talking about that big hole in the secondary. Kenny Vaccaro is not playing. He's got an elbow injury.
Yeah, it's that time of year where it's next man up for a lot of teams right before, especially before the bye, where you hope to get healthy. But hey, you got to play, and that's one man's injury is another man's opportunity.
Both these teams have a bye after this game. Tennessee moves on to Dallas, and the Chargers move on to Seattle. 2nd and 8. Quick one over the middle. This is Allen. Allen to the 15. Kendrick Lewis with the tackle. But another LA first down. 17 yards on that play.
Great recognition by Rivers. He sees that they're going to blitz. He's got one-on-one. Keenan Allen's to the right in the slot. with the Dory Jackson. And when you bring that inside pressure, so many teams now are having success on the slant. But Keenan Allen giving an outside move to Jackson, getting inside, accurate throw. Another first down inside the 20.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that Adoree Jackson was playing outside technique with no inside
No
help.
inside help.
And man-to-man, just give you a quick slant. That's an easy one. He's got to get inside and force him an outside release.
380. Run.
The give to Mike Williams. And Williams breaking through to the 10.
That's when you know your stuff is working, Trent. That should have been an 8-yard loss.
Woodyard reads it. He's in the backfield. He has a chance to make the tackle. Just spins right out of it, and instead of 2nd and 15, 16, now all of a sudden it's 2nd and 7.
I'm hard-pressed to figure out what hasn't worked so far for the Chargers
Right.
today.
Well, and Jarrell Casey talked to us about it. They said, we got to get penetration. We got to get up the field. We got to cause havoc for Phillip Rivers to not get comfortable in the pocket. We got to force the run game. Can't let him get to the outside, get to the edges. Right now, Chargers are winning this.
We have a timeout on the field with 1:59 to play here in the first quarter. We're back in half a minute after this from Geico. That's Melvin Gordon. An onlooker today, came into this game with 6 touchdowns on the ground, 3 more through the air.
Well, we had a chance to talk to him on Friday, and he's disappointed. You could tell by the expression on his face. He was excited about this game, excited about the season he's been able to put together, and then tweaked that hammy at practice on Friday afternoon.
Antonio Gates in the slot on the near side. Rivers throwing it away out of the end zone. Intended for Gates, covered by Kendrick Lewis.
We talked to Phillip Rivers a couple of weeks ago, and he and Antonio Gates, they've been doing this together for so long. It's like, hey, I know what you're going to do. Why'd you do that all of a sudden? Well, I thought you thought I was going to do this, so I did this. And that looked like one of those times. He thought he was going outside. Antonio goes inside, and they're not on the same page for
88 touchdown passes from Phillip Rivers to Antonio Gates. 88 of Gates' 115 in his great career. 3rd and 7. Rivers to the end zone. Batted down by Logan Ryan. That's a great play by Logan Ryan. Intended for Mike Williams.
Well, Logan Ryan once again in the slot. This time against Mike Williams. Williams was looking, you can see him throwing, he's looking for that right hand. See that offhand is wrapped around his waist. It's not called. He gets that left arm in there and knocks the ball away, forcing the Chargers into a field goal attempt.
You have Mike Williams in 2 years, he'll roll over when he feels that arm around his waist, and he'll get that call.
Michael Badgley from 29 yards. It is good. 1:48 to play, first quarter. Chargers extend their lead. 10-3 is the score, and we're back to Wembley Stadium. Westminster Abbey, hello. A reminder, you're free tonight on CBS. Don't miss the new drama everyone's talking about, God Friended Me, tonight after 60 minutes only. CBS. Well, it's a twofold task facing the Tennessee Titans, how to put the brakes on that Charger offense and how to generate some offense of their own. 10-3 LA, 1:48 to play in the first. Darius Jennings from the 4. Jennings, with a little bit of room, moves it out to about the 35-yard line. These teams in the thick of it in their respective divisions. Tennessee Titans in the AFC South are 3-3, but so is Tennessee, or so is Houston, and so is Jacksonville.
Well, more good field position. You think of the last time, Coach, you talked about the return game and how important it was when Tennessee went down and got the field goal on their opening drive. A similar field position that they had on the opening kickoff return. Let's see if they can capitalize again.
Henry in the backfield, play fake. And they pitch to Henry. Here's Henry, midfield, 45 to about the 43-yard line.
Derrick Henry is a very, very good receiver on short passes. He's not a threat going down the field, but on short passes, screens, flares, He is really dangerous when he gets his hands on the ball. Excellent call, I thought. They went deep, wasn't there, took the check down. Good play.
Oh, I love the call. It was Corey Davis was on a wheel route. He did an out and up on the sideline, and the Chargers, he just happened to be in zone defense, so they fell off on it. That's why Henry was open underneath, and Mariota not taking a risk, hitting the pickup.
21-yard pickup, and this is Henry. He'll be marked down at about the 43-yard line. Darius Philon with the tackle. And we're in the final minute of the first quarter.
That was interesting. They went for a wide-out look. Gus Bradley stacked the box and said, "We know you're running. You know, you got to make them throw the ball out of that look."
Here we go. Jaguar!
Hey, double.
With all of that, the handoff goes to Henry, right side, and doesn't get maybe a yard at most before Brandon Mebane makes a stop. And that looks like that may well be the final play of the first quarter.
Well, in just a quarter of football, Mebane's been getting great penetration in the bag, not letting that run game get going. That's the second time now making contact with Henry behind the line of scrimmage.
We've played one here at Wembley Stadium. We'll go to the second quarter, 10-3 Chargers.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Sonic. This is how you Sonic.
One of the delightful things about the attendees here at Wembley Stadium, all of the NFL jerseys on display.
That has been the fun part of the morning, trying to see people coming in and out of the stadium, trying to see the different teams. How many with the little checklist? Okay, that team's covered, that team's covered.
The fans are unbelievable.
Here's a 3rd and 7. Mariota throwing over the middle, and he's got his man inside the 25. Tajay Sharp. 18 yards and a Tennessee first down.
Corey Davis draws the attention. Watch as he goes up and sits down right by the stick. The defense jumps or knows where he is, and Sharp's able to get in behind and pick up the first down. Good throw by Mariota.
Yeah, good job by the offensive line to give Marcus that much time to get to his second and third read at on the deeper level.
Well, you've got to think the Tennessee Titans knocking on the door again just have to get into the end zone just for their own mindset. Henry grabbed from behind and pulled down by Denzel Perryman.
Well, and it's important to note, too, the loss of Delanie Walker, how much that affects this offense, how much it affects Marcus Mariota, and especially now, not only do you look for Walker with one-on-one matchups, but on third down, but now you're getting into the red zone. That's where Walker would really create mismatches and really attack the middle of the field, so they greatly miss him.
Second and 9. Once again, Henry, and this time Henry a little room to the 15. It'll be 3rd and about 2. There's offensive coordinator Matt LaFleur.
Really good job in this drive. Nice job there. They had soft shell defensively, so they ran an inside trap and got Marcus in. This is where Marcus Mariota's legs really beat you, because you sell out to stop the run, and he kills you going around the edges.
Because you think 3rd and short, they're going to bring some type of pressure with man-to-man coverage, so get him out in space and see if you can't create something that gives you the advantage.
Hey, R.
Mariota going to throw for it. Sideline incomplete. Corey Davis, the nearest receiver, and once again, the Titans are going to have to settle for a field goal attempt.
Yeah, these are the third downs that Marcus really needs to start making for this football team. I mean, they just struggle. He's very protective with the football in the red zone to make sure he gets 3 points every time, but sooner or later you got to take a few more chances and stick 1 or 2 in there for the first down.
There's a reason why he has no interceptions in the red zone. He's real protective of the football, which is a good thing. But you also have to know there's a point in time where you have to try lacing it in there as well.
33-yard field goal attempt. And it is good. So Tennessee, again, settles for 3. 12:51 to play in the first half. The Chargers in charge. We welcome you back to Wembley Stadium in London. Tennessee working on the no place to go but up credo. Everything is better than it was a week ago in a 21-0 loss to the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, they had a great September. October has been rough on them so far, offensively especially. It's another big drive for their defense. They can't let the Chargers get in the end zone. Be nice to get them stopped one time and get the ball back to their offense.
It means stopping Desmond King. And King in his own 2. And there's the best coverage they've had so far on a kickoff today. And a little scuffle. Had a little bit of one about 5 minutes ago. On Friday, the Titans hosted a Play 60 event here in London. 180 9 to 10-year-old students from London area schools participated in the Play 60 event, which was aimed to promote activity among the youth. Titans legends Eddie George and Javon Curse also joined in on the festivities. Teaching moment on the sideline from Mike Vrabel. Eckler. Pickup of 2, and it'll be 2nd and 8. We were having conversation with Jurrell Casey, who swore up and down that the Charger running backs were not going to go around him today.
Well, that's what he talked about. He said, we don't want to let them get to the edges. We think that's where they run their best is on the outside. We want to try and keep them in the middle of the field. That time they were able to bring them down.
Oh, it's 5-4.
Rivers clears the backfield on 2nd and 8. As time, sideline throw, and that is caught at the 45-yard line by Tyrell Williams.
Well, we touched in the open about the trust that Rivers is starting to develop with these receivers and throwing the ball upfield. Excellent coverage by the Titans. You're in perfect position. Adoree Jackson is staying on top of it. Back shoulder throw. Williams trusts him. Rivers trusts it. Comes back, makes the catch.
Yeah, this guy's really emerging as a top threat for these guys. Big touchdown last week. Each week he's getting better and better. And Phillips trusting him more and more.
He has 2 catches for 101 yards so far today, and the touchdown to give is to Eckler. And Eckler at about midfield, brought down by Daquan Jones. We're talking about how those Chargers don't do as well up the middle as they do going to the outside.
No, but you have to keep doing it just to set up play action. It's almost like sugar. You just run up the middle, you know you're going to get 2 or 3, but that's where our play action comes off of. When they're really running the ball well, they're hitting both outside.
Well, and that's why Jurrell Casey was talking about not letting them get outside. Keep things in between the tackles.
5-4. Hey, slip it.
On 2nd and 6. Eckler going outside and brought to a halt on the far side after a 2-yard gain.
One of the reasons they're a good outside running team is Virgil Green. He's a tight end that he just loves blocking. He doesn't care if he catches any passes. He's going to handle it. He is big and strong, and he can handle the edge, and that gives you a huge advantage when you have a tight end like that.
On 3rd and 4, Antonio Gates back onto the field and in the slot on the far side. Now he's alone at the top of the screen. Rivers shakes one tackle, throws incomplete to the near side of the field, intended for Eckler.
That's what the Titans defense needed. They got pressure on Phillip, made him move his feet. It was only a 3-man rush, and they got the good pressure, got him off balance, man-to-man coverage across the board. Excellent stop. Now let's see what they can do with their offense.
You got the impression when we talked with Coach Mike Vrabel that he wanted to see some toughness out of his team, tougher than they've been.
Yeah, they were embarrassed by that game last week, and they're built on physical defense up front, run the football, and be the most violent team out there.
This ball bounces down deep and stays down deep at the 5-yard line. Michael Davis downing the football after a 43-yard punt. Tower of London. 9:42 to play in the first half here at Wembley Stadium. And the Titans start from their own 5-yard line. David Llewellyn is in the backfield. He gets the handoff, and he'll get maybe 2 on the play. Denzel Perryman. Told you at the top of the day, this is the 25th game played in this international series. This year, 3 games here in London, 1 in Mexico City. And after all of that is said and done, there will be only 2 NFL teams, Carolina and Green Bay, which have not taken part.
No, you're not saying that.
Wembley Stadium seats about 85,000. Mariota sideline, complete. Tajay Sharp out of bounds, but enough for a first down. So I mentioned earlier, Mike Vrabel wants his team to be tougher. Is that something you can teach a team, or they're either just naturally tough or they're not?
Oh, no, most definitely. That's the culture you put in your building, the way you practice, the way you prepare. Every day you talk about physicality and the way you want to be, and it's all a mindset. Starts with the head coach, and that's a good one to have it right there, Mike Vrabel.
When you're talking from a head coach that spent time with Bear Bryant, he set the tone for toughness.
Mariota trying to shake tacklers in the backfield, and he does. Works his way out to the 18-yard line. That's a good job by Mariota.
That was the best no-gain run you'll see. I want to see that little hop he had back there. Watch the pressure get up the field once again. The Chargers, watch this little jump hop, got both feet off the ground. Ingram thought he was going to be able to swipe him and get him down, and I don't know if I've ever seen that before.
Yeah,
that was.
He is an amazing athlete. He really is.
Trent, if we ever thought you did that during your playing days, we would scour.
Nope. I can tell you don't have to scour anything. It didn't happen.
Here's 2nd and 9. This is Lewis. Lewis has a first down and more. All the way out to the 35-yard line. That's a pickup of 17 and a Tennessee first down.
Yeah, that's the thing Dion Lewis brings. He's the make 'em miss, juke 'em back, and Derrick Henry's the power back. And he is a great addition. He adds a lot of spark when he comes in there.
Great vision. He gets that ball. It's supposed to go to the front side or the left side, and then he winds it back, sees the gap on the right side, gets one-on-one in the open field, and just swiping as he picks up the first down.
Lewis again for a couple. You know, Mike Vrabel isn't so far removed from his playing days that he doesn't get out there and take integral interest in what's going on the field.
Yes, he does. He had the boxing gloves out the other day and trying to punch the ball out for the guys who were holding onto the football and protecting it. He had his chest protector on before, working with the defensive lineman, slamming him in the chest.
Well, that's what the players told us about. They said that's the great thing about it is he coaches all 3 phases. He's not just the defensive guy staying with the defensive coaches. He's involved in all 3 phases, and the guys appreciate that.
Mariota to throw on 2nd and 8 with a screen. This is Lewis, and Lewis across the 40 to about the 42-yard line, maybe the 43, brought down by Corey Legion.
Derwin James did a good job of just shuffling with the blocker and slowing that thing down for Corey Legion to get there. Heck of a job, because that looked like it was going to be a big one right there.
I'm with you, Coach. It was one-on-one on the outside. I was like, okay, this is going to be set up. Definitely a first down, maybe even a bigger chunk, but because of that leverage, it just slowed it down enough, made Lewis wait. Not a lot of guys to rally, make the tackle, bring up another 3rd down.
3rd and 2. running it down to time on the play clock. And we get whistles and we get flags.
Yeah, I think Ingram and Legion were both early.
Team timeout.
Tennessee did get the timeout called before the play clock expired. 5:40 to play. First half.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Applebee's new neighborhood pastas. Eating good in the neighborhood. Verizon. The best unlimited is on Verizon, America's most awarded network. And by Hyundai, official sponsor of the NFL.
Those guys are called the Queen's Guard, and they are tasked with the responsibility of guarding the official royal residences. Mounted guards, guards on foot, keep the residences secure. We welcome you back to Wembley. 3rd and 2. The pitch for Dion Lewis, trying to turn the corner, and he does reach the first down marker just across the 45-yard line.
Initially, I thought you were going to see the sweep to the outside. Taylor Lewan gets out in space. He's the one leading it around there. Initially, I thought it was going to be a bigger game than that, with the Chargers rallying to make it and able to pick up the first down.
Needed 2, he got 3.
Yeah, good job getting that bunch formation. It's a run and pass formation.
Coming up on 5 minutes to play in the first half. The give is to Taywan Taylor. Taylor, as a penalty marker is thrown, is knocked out of bounds right about the line of scrimmage. And let's check the flag.
Illegal block in the back. Number 81. Offense. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
Jonnu Smith guilty of the illegal block in the back. And there it is right in front of you.
Well, that's what they've been doing such a good job of. Tennessee is not getting these penalties. That's only their second penalty on the day. For the most part, they've been able to get some consistency on first and second down, converting third downs. They're 4 of 7 on third down. That's what they have to do from an offensive standpoint. And if you can occasionally sprinkle in a big play, then take advantage of it.
Yeah, this is one team that does not want to get behind the chains and play with 1st and 20 or 3rd and long, which is this could end up in that situation.
Mariota pulls it down and is on the move and throws it out to the side to Dion Lewis.
Well, there's no flag. There one comes in late. I thought he was a good yard or 2 past the line of scrimmage. But if he threw that backwards, then it's not an illegal forward pass. It'd be a lateral. So there's a couple different things coming into play. He's past the line of scrimmage. That's close to whether or not. It looks like it came out of his hand about the 39.5-yard line, and he caught it about the 39.5.
Yeah, when he threw it, he was definitely behind him, but then he kept running forward. It's going to be a close call.
Illegal forward pass. Number 8. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Lost it down. Second down.
Well, the critical thing is what they called it on the field, and they called it a legal forward pass on the field. So even if it's reviewed, as we take a look, his right foot is at the 39, but when's the ball come out of his hands? The ball's out of his hands just before the 40. He catches it just about the 40. So because it was called the way it was on the field, Coach, I don't know if there's enough there to reverse it.
Yeah, that's a tough one to challenge. I mean, it's a big play in the game because it's also lost it down.
The reality is, if he had thrown it a little harder, he would have been fine as a lateral.
Yes, indeed. It was a great play. That's what Marcus can give you. I mean, he's out, makes somebody miss, and then
so with the loss of downs, we have a player down on the field. That is Adrian Phillips, the safety for the Chargers. They'll take a look at him. We'll take a break. 4:25 to play in the first half. 10-6 Chargers. Adrian Phillips was able to walk off the field under his own power, but they are taking a closer look at that right foot. As soon as we get more information, we will fill you in. Meanwhile, 2nd and 22 for Mariota. And they're going to run it to Dion Lewis, and he's got running room. Out to about the 46 was the original line of scrimmage. 12-yard pickup, so it'll be 3rd and 10.
Yeah, really good job there by Matt LaFleur. Got a good look for the run. Marcus audible to the right run. Got 10 of it back. Now you got to get down the field. Again, pass protection is key here. Give him time to get down the field for the first down.
Well, and I thought he was going to audible to a pass. You could see the safeties rotating. They were going to middle of the field close. Safety came down to the left. That's why Mariota did a good job taking it away from that drop safety.
Mariota throwing complete. Tajay Sharp for a first down to the 35 of the Chargers. 19 yards on the play.
Great job by the offensive line, pushing him up and around the pile. Derwin James just lost his man there.
They line up in a hurry, and that quick pass is complete to Taywan Taylor, number 13. And the increase in tempo helping the Tennessee Titans.
Well, going back to that 3rd down, did you see Melvin Ingram? He was the deep safety. He was up at the line of scrimmage, and right before the ball snap, he ran to the deep middle. The safeties came down. He was man in the middle of the field. I haven't seen that one yet.
Mariota going to keep it on 2nd and 3, trying to turn the corner. He's got the first down. Bumped out of bounds by Casey Hayward, and Hayward is still down.
Coach, you've touched a couple times about Mariota and his ability to run the football. That time, there was nowhere. I don't know how he gets the stiff arm.
That's the one
on
thing
Brown.
About Marcus. He has a great stiff arm for a quarterback.
But watch here. I'm thinking he's going to dive over the top. Instead, he's going to make contact. I don't know about you, but
these are the shots.
He may want to protect himself a little bit on that.
These are the shots he needs to quit taking, because those are ones that are going to get him hurt. He had the first down. You don't need to be macho. All right? This team already knows how tough you are. You don't have to prove to your teammates you're tough. Get out of bounds and stay healthy.
Welcome to the new part of our broadcast called What Would Trent Do?
I'd probably be too slow to get out of bounds, so then I would try diving over the top of him and end up, flipping out of bounds. But I would try and avoid that if I could.
An anxious Phillip Rivers on the sideline. We were talking about this during one of the timeouts. The Tennessee Titans have barged their way back into a game that they seemed to be out of early on.
Yeah, the Chargers got the big play on their defense after the first play, but they're moving the ball offensively. If they can just get one of these in the end zone, this is going to be a heck of a ball game.
Well, and the other thing is right now, how do you slow down that Chargers offense? You keep the ball away from them. Time of possession is 19 minutes to 8 minutes.
2 minutes to play here in Wembley.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by State Farm, here to help life go right. And by Jersey Mike Subs, be a sub above.
Just a reminder, coming up, the Verizon Halftime Report. JB, Phil, Boomer, Coach Bill Cowher for first half highlights. And the latest NFL news all coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. These London games get the guys up early in New York. 13th play of this drive upcoming. Tennessee. All kinds of possession. The results haven't been showing on the scoreboard. Quick pass. That's complete. Cameron Batson, and Batson wrestled to the ground by Melvin Ingram.
Again, great job by Melvin Ingram. They had a heck of a nice play set up with a quick screen backside, but Melvin Ingram is so fast. He recognizes and closes on it. And Tennessee's doing a great job of just grinding this thing out, making a real grimy game. If they end up kicking a field goal, they're going to halftime down 1. But if they get a touchdown here, they're going to feel really good about themselves.
Corey Davis, 101, the bottom of the screen.
Mariota over the middle. Complete close to the 15-yard line to Jonnu Smith, the tight end. Clock continues to move. A minute 10 to play in the first half. Don't you think the Tennessee Titans have to get into the end zone to really feel good about themselves?
No, I think they'd be happy to go in 10-9, but they feel ecstatic as they went in 13-10. But as Trent said, one-on-one at the bottom, and Derwin James played the half field from the box that time, and Mariota did a good job recognizing it.
Tennessee has not scored a touchdown in a second quarter all season long. Mariota throwing, coming across, complete into the 10-yard line is Corey Davis. Pick up a 5 on the play. Casey Hayward back into the lineup, and Tennessee uses its second timeout, and we'll be back in 30 seconds after this from Jaguar. Welcome back. Guys, what are we looking for? 39 seconds remaining in the first half. Tennessee with the ball and one timeout as they look at a 1st and goal from about the 10.
Well, you've got plenty of time to call 2 plays in the huddle and get them both run. You want to save that timeout for the field goal at the last play, but you've got plenty of time to take some shots in the end zone.
Mariota throwing, tipped and intercepted. Picked off by Perryman. Denzel Perryman brought down back at the 20-yard line. And another Tennessee drive comes up short of the end zone. And Mariota, we mentioned earlier, in the red zone, 41 touchdowns, no interceptions, just had 1 pick.
Well, and it's the tip at the line of scrimmage that really does this. Mariota trying to get a quick throw in. Watch, there's no rush that comes from the outside. Just stand, and jump up. Ingram jumps up and gets a hand on it. Excellent read on his part. You would think he's going to be bringing it off the edge. Instead, he just sits there and bounces and waits and reads Mariota's eyes, gets a hands on it. And
yeah, he was playing the read option, so he stopped rushing, which put him right in the throwing lane. And Melvin Ingram, that's twice they tried to throw RPOs at Melvin Ingram, and he's just too smart.
Perriman's first interception of this season. This is Eckler. And Eckler just across the 20 to the 21-yard line. And
Coach, that's what you and I talk about all the time in the end of halves. If you're down there in your own, either run a screen, run a draw, try and get a big chunk of yards, throw it to the outside one-on-one, just one of those quick wide receiver screens, something like that. If you get a big chunk, then you go into your 2-minute mode. If not, you do like the Chargers here and take it into half.
Time winds down here in the first half. We come to the end of the first half with the Los Angeles Chargers leading Tennessee by a score of 10-6. Wake those guys up in New York. Halftime is next after these first half highlights from Verizon and a word from your local station.
Want more stats? Hey Siri, who leads the league in rushing yards?
Look at Trafalgar Square in the middle of the city of London, and you look at the first half numbers, Trent, we felt as this game began that the Los Angeles Chargers were in the middle of a runaway, and then all of a sudden they weren't.
Well, all of a sudden LA, the first play, they get the long touchdown, but when you look at what Tennessee was able to do, it was control the football. They kept the ball for 21 minutes compared to 9 minutes. That's the formula they need. Unfortunately for them, they weren't able to get any touchdowns.
Yeah, what'd you see out of the Titans other than stalling and having to settle for field goals?
Well, offensively, they're moving the ball. They're doing an excellent job of moving the ball. They just got to score some points. Defensively, I like where they're at. They gave it one big play. Other than that, they're giving their offense a chance.
So it's the LA Chargers that will get the football to start the second half, owning the lead at 10-6. We made mention that the Titans have to be thrilled to death that they're in this game at all, the way everything began. However, we'll see what the second half holds, and it starts with a touchback. And we go down to Melanie.
Thank you. Thank you, Greg. Well, I spoke with both coaches, and Mike Vrabel told me that he wants his team to play with a bit more urgency. He said, we dominate time of possession and have nothing to show for it. We have to finish drives defensively. The first play of the game left his defense shell-shocked, he said, but there's 4 quarters for a reason. We're still in this thing. And then Anthony Lynn said he's very happy. He just wants his defense to get off the field on 3rd down and play with more urgency, Greg.
Well, Mike Vrabel was paying attention, and I'll bet Anthony Lynn isn't all that happy.
No, not the way that thing, for them, they had it going big. Great turnover by the end of the half by the Charger defense.
From the 25, Rivers to throw. Near side of the field and right on the money and out of bounds short of the 40-yard line is Travis Benjamin, who was somewhat questionable this game with a foot injury, but there he is, 13-yard pickup.
This has Dory Jackson 1-on-1. Just a comeback. He put it to the outside shoulder. Excellent throw by Rivers for him trying to get in some kind of rhythm. Only 8 pass attempts in the first half. They just didn't have the ball long enough. They don't have any 3rd down conversions. Only punted 1 time. It's just a matter of possessions for them.
Yeah, sometimes you score too fast. Not that I really believe that, Trent.
You and I are on the same page, Coach. It's like you get the ball, you want to score.
Rivers, quick pass. This is Eckler. And Eckler out of bounds. Shy of the 50-yard line. Jayon Brown forcing him out. That's a pickup of 7 on the play in their first 4 possessions of this game. The quick touchdown pass. The field goal, a punt. And then the first half wound down.
Well, the Titans defense is doing something they wanted. They knocked Phillip Rivers down on both of those passes, hit him pretty hard. And those things, they'll add up a little as this game goes on.
Rivers, deep drop this time. Deep pass, wide open to the 15, the 10, the 5. Mike Williams with the touchdown. 55 yards.
Well, that was great design by Ken Whisenhunt, the offensive coordinator. They had Antonio Gates run the sail or outside corner route, and the outside receiver go inside and work the safety and come back outside. They passed it off, Trent. The safety had no chance staying with Mike Williams.
This is the 2nd long touchdown pass of the day for the LA Chargers, and both times it was a matter of peeking back into the backfield, looking at the out route. You can see the safety looks at Gates, as you just mentioned, Coach. It looks at Gates going on the corner route and lets the deep corner route go.
Yeah, the Chargers had a real good game plan on working over the corners technique of the way the Titans play it.
Happiness on the Chargers sideline on Tennessee. Not so much. 17-6 LA. Well, the Chargers have racked up 252 yards of total offense on just 19 plays. That's over 13 yards of play. 2 long TD passes from Phillip Rivers, and here's Darius Jennings on the receiving end. Turn this one from the 5. And a full head of speed right up the sideline. Across the 40 and forward to about the 43-yard line. Let's go back to the touchdown pass.
Chargers are going to catch the Titans in quarter coverage. Mike Williams is just running a pylon route, which is a high angle corner route. Gates is running right to the outside, and what you want to keep your eye on is Kendrick Lewis, the safety. He gets looking in the backfield, and in quarters coverage, Coach, you're trying to decide which guys, who's got what, who's got outside contain, inside contain. As soon as Gates goes, the corner jumps it. Lewis, by that point in time, he's flat-footed. He can't catch enough speed to catch up to Mike Williams. Easy touchdown pass for Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, and that formation, you better be backpedaling and not jumping anything underneath. He was sitting on underneath the route, and that was a great design by Ken Whisenhunt for the touchdown. Perfect call versus that coverage.
Meanwhile, on the return, Rayshawn Jenkins of the Chargers guilty of an unnecessary roughness personal foul, which advances the ball all the way to the LA 42-yard line in terrific starting position for the Tennessee Titans, who badly need to find the end zone. Ball started on the ground again, and Henry inside the 40 to the 36. Let's check in with Melanie.
Well, Greg, a lot of frustration down here on the Titans sideline. Among the defensive secondary, they've been reviewing the touchdown on the sideline tablet, and these guys are heated. Jarrell Casey came over and said, shake it off, guys. And Brian Arakpo came up and said, don't sweat it. All it is communication. Keep your heads up.
Melanie, thank you. Play fake. Mariota right over the middle. That's enough for a first down. Inside the 30 to the 27 goes Luke Stockard. His first catch of the day. The 8th-year tight end out of Tennessee.
Well, and just to touch on Melanie's point, it is about communication. But when you're in quarters coverage, if you're the outside guy, you got whoever's coming to the outside. If you're the inside guy, you have to take that deep guy. When they exchange their release like that, there is no excuse. As you said, Kendrick Lewis was guessing that was going to be a sit-down route or a middle route. Instead, Williams planted and took it to a high angle, and he couldn't catch up to him.
First down at the Charger 26. Mariota pulls it down again, and he goes down at the 34-yard line. Melvin Ingram with the sack.
Well, these are the things, Trent. These sacks, he's in the fringe red zone area, and again, he's just too careful. He's got to let that ball go. If they're in man-to-man coverage, trust your guy wins and get him the football.
Yeah, with the way that pocket is, it comes down to the trust thing, and I think a little bit goes to the end of the half, right, where he gets the ball tipped. So now maybe a little bit more hesitant because you don't want to have that turnover. You hang on to it a little bit longer.
And he did have to throw it down the middle.
On 2nd and 16, quick pass to the outside to Lewis. Dion Lewis with a couple of blockers in front of him and up the sideline. He'll be marked out of bounds at about the 12-yard line. That's enough for a first down.
Well, Coach, you touched on it. I think that's where you have to attack this Chargers defense is the middle of the field with the passing game. But here, quick to the outside, Lewis sets it up great, sets those blocks up perfectly by hopping to the inside, recognizing, getting back out.
Yeah, that time they caught Melvin Ingram rushing and opened up the whole play.
21-yard pickup on the play. 1st and 10 from the 12. Lewis gets out of trouble, gains yardage to the 5, and brought down at about the 3.5-yard line by Derwin James.
That's a 5-yard loss that's going to happen for the Titans, and give Lewis credit. There's nowhere to go. He's able to bounce out of that spin, and watch Mariota comes into the picture, tries to get a block up at the point of attack.
Yeah, Isaac Rochelle, the young outside linebacker, lost contain when it came back to him. He was hustling and over-hustled.
2nd and 1. Mariota with a shovel pass to Jonnu Smith, the tight end. And he appears to have enough for a first down.
Well, that's become a hot play around the NFL, using different personnel, running backs, tight ends, wide receivers. This time the Titans flip it to Smith. That quick little shuffle pass in the middle of the field. This always makes me a little nervous because there's a lot of people getting penetration in the backfield, but it's become such a hot play because if it hits the ground, it's just an incomplete pass.
Yeah, and the offensive line blocks that like an inside trap. So you shouldn't have much penetration. It's a read option, pitch it back on the shovel.
1st and goal from the 1. Henry, touchdown, Tennessee. And that's been a long time coming.
And they're right back in the ball game. Excellent response. Started with the kicking game. Again, great field position, set them up. Marcus makes a couple plays. Dion Lewis, again, the catalyst on the drive with the screen pass. But again, finished it off, Derrick Henry, touchdown. Now we got a ball game.
Melanie talked about talking to Coach Vrabel. He said that they need to have a better sense of urgency. I thought their offense had a better sense of urgency on that series. There was more tempo coming in and out of the huddle. I thought Derrick Henry on his run earlier in the drive, he attacked the line of scrimmage as opposed to dancing and trying to find an outside lane. I thought they were very aggressive on that series.
Ryan Succop for the extra point. And it is perfect. 9:43 to play in the 3rd quarter. The Tennessee Titans with a touchdown to pull within 4.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Domino's. Order online at Domino's.com. Modelo Especial, brewed with a fighting spirit since 1925. And by FedEx, possibilities, what we deliver by delivering.
There's a good look at Big Ben. Great bell of the clock on the north end of the Palace of Westminster here in London. heard for the first time in 1859. Meanwhile, we talked about that lack of offense that Tennessee's been suffering through. Their first touchdown since overtime when they beat Philadelphia back in week 4. Desmond King deep. King will run it back from 5 yards deep. 15-20, and picks his way out to the 25-yard line. You know, the New York Giants played the first ever NFL regular season game in London in a 20-07 win against the Dolphins. A few months later, they reached Super Bowl 42 as they took on the Patriots, and that David Tyree catch helped send the Giants to a win. They're still the only team to play a game in London and win the Super Bowl in the same year, and of course, CBS, home of Super Bowl 53. Justin Jackson is in the backfield. The pitch is for Jackson. And he'll get 1, maybe 2 on the play.
Now a little more sense of urgency out of that Charger offense after the Titans come down and score. It's not going to be as easy. I think the Tennessee defense is fired up now. They got a lot of pride. It's time to get a stop.
This is without Melvin Gordon's services today. Fine running back for the Chargers. 25 rushing yards on the afternoon so far. Rivers going to throw it. That's Jackson out of the backfield, and Jackson has a first down to about the 37, maybe the 38-yard line.
Excellent job by Brown peeling back on that and getting the screen from behind. If he doesn't get that, there's nobody out in front. He's got a couple blockers, and
yeah, that's going to go all the way. And excellent retrace and effort by Jaron Brown.
Meanwhile, Rivers has thrown for 239 yards on 9 of 12 and those 2 long touchdowns. Jackson out, Eckler in, and Rivers to throw. Across the middle, complete. Tyrell Williams out of bounds. Forced out by Malcolm Butler. As we hit the 8 minutes to play mark here in the third.
I think one of the big things, Trent, in this game is yards on first down. Chargers are averaging probably over 7 yards on first down in this game or more with those long completions versus the Titans in this game, always in really manageable second and third down plays.
Eckler alongside Rivers in the backfield on 2nd and 4. And Rivers under pressure and goes down at the 35. Jarrell Casey, Kamale Correa in on the sack, a loss of 8.
Well, and the key there for the Titans is they got that pressure, they got that sack, only rushing 4. They were able to drop 7 into coverage, and you could see from that view, that camera view there was nowhere for Rivers to throw. Bunch of defenders, only 2 receivers to the side of the field that he was looking to. Excellent job by Casey.
Yeah, they ran a great game over there at T. East and really worked it to perfection.
So now Rivers looking at a 3rd and 12 from the 35. Rivers sideline, caught, but short of first down yardage by Tyrell Williams. A pickup of 11 on 4th and 1. Let's see what Anthony Lynn has in mind. Going for it.
Well, Dory Jackson in good coverage there. They come back to the football, and Jackson's been picked on a few times today on 3rd down. I have a hard time believing they're going to go for this. I think just try and get him with a hard count.
And it is not going to work. Play clock expires.
That'd be really gutsy with a 4-point lead to do that on your side of the 50.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Good job by Tennessee defense not biting the cheese on the hard count. The way Phillip was walking away, I thought maybe they had a direct snap to the halfback, though. Because
he was offset. I was like, what are they going to do, an angle snap here? And
we used to run a direct trap that way all the time.
Have you noticed the smile that has emerged on Mike Vrabel's face here in the second half?
Yeah, they're dominating so far. They came out at halftime ready to roll. And again, should have decent field position to start this.
Adoree Jackson is wrapped up at the 20-yard line. So that's where Tennessee will get started. 5:38 to play in the third. There's the logjam atop the AFC South. Tennessee, Houston, Jacksonville, all 3-3. The Texans and the Jaguars playing each other later today. And in the AFC West, the Chargers just a scooch behind Kansas City. And Denver not far off the pace either. Nice little thing Tennessee has in its pocket, that 2-0 edge within their division.
Yeah, big wins. Especially when you get one on the road, that's a huge win.
They beat Houston at home. They beat Jacksonville in Jacksonville. And they start from their own 19-yard line. This is Henry. Henry pushes the pile for about 5, maybe 6 yards.
Those 1- and 2-yard gains in the first half are now getting to be 5 and 6. That offensive line is doing a heck of a job of getting push in there. In the first half, Brandon Mebane, they couldn't block him, but they're double teaming him. They made a nice adjustment.
Well, I know you said that Mariota caused a lot of his sacks last week, but this offensive line got pretty beat up all week long.
Oh yeah, and again, they probably give up 5, but.
Second and 4, the pitch for Henry. Henry pushed out of bounds on a fine defensive play by Denzel Perryman. And we have a flag.
Personal foul, clipping, number 62, offense. 15-yard penalty, still second down.
That penalty is on
Half the distance
Corey
to the
Levin.
goal.
And that's going to back them up big time. So going to back the Titans all the way to their own 12-yard line.
so Levin's right here. You're going to get the block. They're pulling to the outside. He's going to come back. Lewan gets to the outside, and you see Levin try and get up to that second level. Gets it with the clip.
He hit Damian Square, number 71. So now it's 2nd and 17. Mariota breaking free once again, 20. And out of bounds just short of the 25-yard line, run out by Adrian Phillips. Escapability is part of his game.
Yeah, it really is, and the strength of Marcus is amazing. Most quarterbacks are going down right there, but he pulls through. He's strong leg, he pulls through. Again, I don't like him taking those shots on the sideline, but get yourself out of bounds. But he's got it back in a good third down, makeable distance.
Well, and he's strong with his hands. Rochelle didn't even go for the sack. He took both hands to swipe at the football to try and knock it loose, and Mariota kept control of it, is able to slide up and get a gain.
3rd and 5. Mariota with time and throwing, and that's incomplete. Would have been short of the first down. Corey Davis couldn't hold on.
That time, excellent coverage up the field by the Chargers. There was nowhere to go. Trying to get the combination route to the left, and LA doing an excellent job with coverage. And then when you try getting down to the check, even if he catches it, it's not going to be a first down.
Yeah, I would like to have seen Corey Davis be beyond the sticks on that check down route. I think he was running the option route in the middle, and he was just way too short.
Corey Davis just 2 catches for a total of 10 yards today. Desmond King is deep. Line drive kick. From his own 22. A couple of nice moves, and almost broke into the clear at the 35-yard line. He's brought down at about the 34. Harold Landry with the tackle. Just under 4 minutes to play in the third.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by USAA, official NFL Salute to Service partner, and by Red Dead Redemption 2, out October 26th for PS4, rated mature.
Let's look at some of the construction going on Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, which will have a capacity of a bit over 62,000 when it's finished. In addition to Premier League soccer games, it'll be home to NFL London games as well. On first down, this is Austin Ekeler, and Ekeler has himself a first down to the 45-yard line. 11 yards on the play.
Well, again, they changed it up. They've been running inside zone. That time they ran inside power. And a really good job by the pulling guard getting around, and Austin Ekeler just following him.
Look at Rivers' numbers now. Keep in mind, this running game has taken a hit for the Chargers with the loss of Melvin Gordon as Rivers throws to the near side, and this is Ekeler out of the backfield, and he'll get it about as far as midfield. But coming into this week, the Charger offense was number 5 in the league running the football.
Well, the number of plays is one thing. They haven't had that many number of snaps, but they definitely missed Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, 3 minutes left in the third quarter. That was just their 26th offensive snap. Some of it due to the Titans defense, but a couple quick hitters, early plays, over the top, 1-play drives, 2-play drives.
Second and 5. Pulls it down, throws it away. It'll be 3rd and 5. There is Melvin Gordon, and boy, he has been something. 124 touches coming in. That puts him up in the hierarchy.
Yeah, people don't realize he's become a heck of a receiver. He's really worked on his receiving game coming out of the backfield, plus lining up wide and being a wide receiver.
Well, over 5 yards a carry when he's running the football, and as you said, 30 receptions. He's developed himself, spent a lot of time working on his hands and becoming a better receiver for Phillip Rivers.
Rivers throwing. That's complete to Antonio Gates for the first down.
How long we been seeing that route, Trent? Antonio Gates was his number 2 receiver. He slides inside and goes down past the sticks, runs the option route. Phillip Rivers right on the money.
He's one-on-one with Kevin Byard, and you think that's a matchup. If you're the Titans, that's what you want. You see a little stutter move at the top. Byard slips coming out of the cut. Those two been on the same page for a long time.
Phillip's eyes never went anywhere else. He knew the coverage he had.
New set of downs for Rivers to give this to Ekeler, and Ekeler tries the right side, just inside the 40 to the 39-yard line of the Tennessee Titans. Minute 45 to play in the third.
For the Titans, this is a big drive. If they can just hold them here, they're out of field goal range. But even if they can hold them to 3, they're one-score game and right where they want to play it.
Ekeler 9 carries for 36 yards. And we get a whistle, and Tennessee calls a timeout. With a minute 22 to play in the third, Tennessee uses its first timeout here in the second half. Saturday, the best game from the best conference. Number 11 Florida battles Georgia, number 8 in the country, in Jacksonville. Then in prime time from San Diego, 4th-ranked Notre Dame takes on Navy for the 92nd consecutive season. College football pregames got you covered beginning at 2:30 Eastern time on CBS. Mike Vrabel see something he didn't like on the field?
Yeah, I think he saw a matchup that he was very concerned with, and that's a good use of a timeout right there when you know they're going to get an easy one.
Rivers under pressure and going down at the 40. Hit from behind by Jayon Brown.
Very, very similar route to what they ran earlier. Earlier they ran it with Gates. This time they're running it with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. Allen just doing the out route and Williams trying to take it over the top. You can see the Titans that time not falling for it. Had two defenders back there and able to get pressure not allow Rivers get rid of the ball.
You know, Trent, right at the beginning of the show, you did going green. If Rivers had time, he'd have thrown it.
He would.
Oh, yeah. Jayon Brown did a heck of a job on a green dog. That means when he saw the back stay in and he pressured him and got to him.
On 3rd and 7, Rivers all kinds of time. He hits his man inside the 30-yard line to the 28. Keenan Allen for a first down.
Well, and if you're Mike Vrabel and Dean Pease, the defensive coordinator for Tennessee, you can't be happy with that. You decide to only rush 3, drop 8 into coverage. So you know Rivers is going to have plenty of time. But to leave a receiver like Keenan Allen open in the middle of the field, you're hoping there would be secondary help, not just one-on-one with Ryan.
That 13-yard pickup is going to be the last play of the third quarter. We wind things down. 15 minutes to play at Wembley Stadium in London. The Chargers 17, Tennessee 13. This is the NFL on CBS. Welcome back, everybody. Greg Gumbel, Trent Green, Bruce Arians, Melanie Collins, our producer Ken Mack, and our director Suzanne Smith, and the rest of our crew. Back at Wembley for the start of the fourth. 17-13, Chargers with the lead. And the ball, 1st and 10. Little double reverse. This is Eckler. Eckler trying to turn the corner with blocking, and he has it, diving for the first down marker at the 17, and they're going to mark him about a yard shy.
Eckler's lined up wide on the outside. They're just going to flip it to him as he goes by, and looks like Correa has a chance to bring him down, not able to extend and get his legs. Lewis has to knock him out of bounds short of the sticks.
Pickup of 9 makes it 2nd and 1.
2nd and 1, this is where you want to take your shot.
This is where I'm going to the end zone, brother. And I like the double post versus this look.
Instead, they're going to give it to Eckler, who's going to lose yardage. Daquan Jones all over that one.
Again, great penetration by Daquan Jones, and that Titans front 7 bows up, and holding them to 3 here is a win for the Titans after giving up that long 3rd down. They need to get off the field on this one.
Loss of 3 on the play makes it 3rd and 4.
We know one thing about the Chargers: the kicking game isn't 100%.
That's Antonio Gates settling down in the slot on the near side. Rivers throwing over the middle. It is caught just inside the 15 by Keenan Allen.
Logan Ryan with good coverage on Keenan Allen. Looks from that angle like Allen got his arms underneath it. It was ruled a catch on the field. Vrabel's going to take a look at it with the challenge. See, the Chargers were trying to get to the line in a hurry to prevent that from happening. It looks like from the initial angles that he got his arms underneath it.
Tennessee challenging the ruling on the field of a completed catch.
This would be a big challenge because if they lose it, they're going to lose one of their timeouts.
Well, Mike Vrabel thought he'd give it a shot, but it wasn't a very good one. There was nothing that caused the officials to overturn that call. It is a completed catch, and Tennessee loses a timeout, so they are down to 1. Meanwhile, a first down for the Chargers inside the 15-yard line. Rivers, this side of the field, complete to Eckler, and he's hit almost immediately. And forward progress is going to be marked at the 10. Wesley Woodyard with the hit.
I don't know about you, Coach, but I really thought he was going to go one-on-one. Mike Williams at the top, one-on-one with Malcolm Butler. Big size advantage difference, no help over the top with the safety. I thought he was going to give it a shot.
Yeah, one thing about Phil, I love watching him because he works every progression.
Oh, yes.
If he doesn't like the throw, I'll find somebody down low and dump it down and get positive yards.
Ready, hot. Set. Y'all just got to go get to him now. 380.
On 2nd and 6. To the end zone. Incomplete. Virgil Green, the intended receiver. Good job by Eckler picking up the blitzer.
Yeah, you don't like to have him blocking 320-pound defensive lineman, but he did a heck of a job of wrapping back and getting it done.
That's Virgil Green, the intended receiver. 3rd and 6. Big defensive down for the Titans.
Looks like Keenan Allen's going to get doubled down here at the bottom of the screen, so you got one-on-one up top.
That pass to the end zone, incomplete. Intended for Mike Williams, and Logan Ryan was right on it. And Williams a bit shaken up on the play.
That's 2 chances Mike Williams has had to make one of those really grimy red zone touchdown catches, and he didn't come up with either one of them.
Looked good when it started.
Great throw.
Had a chance there. Looks like he just turned his hands maybe backward the wrong way instead of attacking it frontwards. He kind of turned to try
let the
and
ball
cup
get
it.
past his eyes and lost it. Yeah.
Keenan Allen not looking happy on this LA sideline. That was Keenan Allen while the rest of the play was happening. Thinks maybe Phillip Rivers could have made a better choice.
Well, as I said before the snap, there were 2 defenders over the top of Keenan Allen, one underneath, one over the top. They had man-to-man. Everybody else is man-to-man across the board. So it's a quarterback, that's easy. You see 2 defenders over the top. You're not going to stay to that side. Here you see Kendrick Lewis work his way over the top. He's going to come inside to get underneath. Adoree Jackson is to the outside. He may have beat Adoree Jackson and got to the outside, but as a quarterback, you see 2 guys go over there on one, and you know everybody else is one-on-one. You pick your best matchup on the other side.
Yes, indeed. And Mike Williams just comes down with the catch.
Badgley from 28 yards out. That kick is good. So the Titans do hold them to 3. They're within a touchdown, 20-13. Chargers.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Walt Disney World Resort, Land Rover, Above and Beyond, and by Jersey Mike Subs. Be a sub above.
(20-13). Chargers in the lead. And on the sideline, there's a little bit of drama. Probably not unusual in NFL circles. Upset players,
especially wide receivers. They're always open.
Darius Jennings on the run at the 3. Across the 30 and out to about the 34-yard line. So we saw Keenan Allen a bit upset, and then a little conversation afterwards.
I can guarantee you what he's telling him is, listen, they had 2 guys to you and they had one-on-one everybody else. So even though you may have beat him, hey, great job, but there's no way I'm going to two-on-one as opposed to taking one-on-one matchups. And Mike Williams makes that catch. It's a no discussion.
This is Dion Lewis to start the Titans drive.
He sparked plug a couple drives now, Dion Lewis. So good to see him back in there. And again, 1 touchdown, they've got the lead. So the Titans are right where they want to be as far as the way they like to play football. Tough, physical, right to the wire.
All their wins are by a field goal, so they know how to play these close games.
2nd and 5. Mariota, quick pass over the middle, complete to Lewis. Lewis has a first down and more as he gets close to midfield. Perryman, Derwin James combined for the hit after a 10-yard pickup.
Well, Mariota wanted the big play down the sideline.
Yeah, I like the call by Matt LaFleur. They finally took a shot on first down. Marcus Mariota saw it, wasn't there, dump it to your back, get a first down.
Casey Hayward wasn't going to let it happen. He was in bail technique all the way, kept his eyes in the backfield, and good decision by Mariota.
Play fake to Lewis. Mariota stepping up and throwing over the middle. Taywan Taylor. Did that just go right through his hands?
Right through his hands. He was looking up way before that ball got there. He was trying to decide what angle he was going to take after catching this because he has a chance to score. It's going to be a big gain for sure. Attacking the middle of the field against the Chargers. I mentioned that earlier in the game. There tend to be some windows in there, especially with the play action pass. Get that linebacker to bite up in there. That's a catch you got to make.
Yeah, those are the plays that Marcus Mariota has to have. And the guy's got to make plays for him. He takes enough of the heat, but that was a great play by him.
Quick pass to the outside. Corey Davis looking for running room, not finding any, and he goes down. He is a very talented receiver that they just have not been able to get open today for much of anything.
Coach, you know, on those quick throws to the outside like that, there is pursuit coming fast from the inside by the defense, and it's a lot of big guys that are coming out there fast. So
yeah, you want one block and kick on.
Right.
You don't want to be dancing around on the line of scrimmage.
Here's a 3rd and 10.
3rd and 10. You want to try and get a chunk back here because I think this is maybe even 4th down territory if you're able to pick up 7 or 8.
Yeah, it's too early in the game for that punt and pin them down. But we got to have great pass protection here and get this ball past the chains.
Mariota throwing, and that's complete inside the 40-yard line. The catch is made by Tajae Sharpe. $16 yards and a 1st down.
Inside post by the slot receiver, and Marcus Mariota put it right on the money.
4 catches for 63 yards for Sharpe today.
Excellent throw by Mariota, and Sharpe protecting the football, knowing he was going to take a hit.
I beg your pardon, 5 catches for 79. Lewis going nowhere. Corey Legion with the stop.
Mariota's up on the line of scrimmage trying to get this play off quick.
So on 2nd and 10, Mariota, little flip over the middle, and that's Lewis. And Lewis going to be marked down at about the 33-yard line. That's a pickup of 3 and another big 3rd down.
Yeah, see, Trent, with us under 9 minutes, obviously you want to make the 1st down, but I would kick the field goal and get it to a 3-point game.
See, I'm thinking a little bit different. I'm thinking how potent the Chargers offense has been. So if you don't go for it and try and get the touchdown or get the 1st down, if you do get to 4th down, you don't know, you may be down 2 scores by the next time you get the ball.
Mariota with time, throwing off the fingertips of Corey Davis.
Now you have to kick it that down a distance, but we've been talking about Corey Davis all day and only gets one hand up. Inside release, able to throw him by, get to the outside.
Yeah, just late getting his head around it. I mean, that's a great throw again by Marcus Mariota. 2 big drops in that drive.
So now from 51 yards, Ryan Succop, who has a season long of 54. He's also hit from 53 and 50. He missed it. 8:21 to play in the 4th. Still a 1-touchdown lead for LA. Just to let you know, our full day of football continues on CBS. Time permitting, the NFL Today gets you caught up on all the latest news across the league next. Then, New England heads to Chicago to take on the Bears, followed by NFC East action, the Cowboys and Washington. So here are the Chargers. Just across their own 40-yard line. 8:21 to play. A reminder, Chargers with all 3 of their timeouts. Tennessee with just 1 and Rivers to throw. Short pass and jumping all over the play, and Austin Eckler was Kamalei Correa.
Again, the Chargers going full I formation, loading it up and then going deep. They had maximum protection. They were going to take a shot. Phillip does a good job dumping it down. Correa unloads on him. That could have been a turnover.
Well, and that was excellent communication by the Titans defensively. They had double team Mike Williams going down the middle of the field, but it was Keenan Allen crossing the field, and just the communication. Kendrick Lewis ends up dropping down and covering him, leaving the backside corner available if there's another crossing route, and I just thought that was great communication. Nowhere for Rivers to go except the check down.
On 2nd and 11. That went off the fingertips of Austin Eckler. It'll be 3rd and 11. You know, all throughout our conversation with Mike Vrabel, he's pretty impressed by the fact that his team has been beaten up in the way they've been playing and shut out and sacks. He said, we're going to be all right.
Yeah, I mean, they had a great September and beat some really good football teams. So their mindset is just, it was one bad game, let's get ready for the next one.
3rd and 11, Rivers. Rivers over the middle. Penalty marker is down. The catch is made by Keenan Allen. Let's check the flag.
Well, based on where that flag is thrown, Coach, they may get Allen on a push-off.
Prior to the pass, holding, number 26, defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Logan Ryan guilty of the hold.
I don't know about that, Coach.
I don't know about that one, Trent. That was within 5 yards. It looked like hand fighting and way inside 5 yards before you ever let go. That's a rough one. I'd be a little ticked off if I was Coach Vrabel right there. Probably really talk ugly to the referee.
Right.
Do coaches do that?
Some.
They're taking a look to see if the play was good for a first down. So they have declined the penalty, and it is a first down.
Obviously, for the Titans, this next set of downs is huge. They got to stop them right here. They can't give up any more points and get this in a two-score game.
Philip Rivers and Keenan Allen seem to be back on the same page, don't they?
It's interesting how that quarterback-receiver relationship can be mended quickly when you feed them the ball.
First down. Just on the Tennessee side of the field. This is Eckler. Eckler trying to turn the corner and wrapped up by number 55, Jayon Brown, who's made his presence felt today. No gain, 2nd and 10.
Really good job by setting the edge by the defensive ends and making that thing bounce outside, and then the speed of the Titans just run it down for nothing.
Philip Rivers now 18 of 25, throwing for 303 yards and 2 touchdowns. So on 2nd and 10, Justin Jackson is in the backfield, and he gets the handoff. And once again, that Tennessee front line stands tall. Wesley Woodyard. Philip Rivers has had another one of those days, Trent.
Well, first throw of the day down the sidelines of Tyrell Williams for a touchdown. Set the tone early. They just haven't had a lot of opportunities. Completion, another big touchdown pass, this time to Mike Williams. As you just mentioned, his stats, 18 of 25, 303, 2 touchdowns, no picks. He's having an outstanding season. Came into the day completing almost 69% with 15 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions, so continuing his hot season.
And only 60 career games with 300 or more yards passing.
Yeah.
3rd and 8.
Straight.
3rd and 8, and the pitch out here to this side. This is Antonio Gates. Gates is going to be well short of a first down.
No hesitation at all by Anthony Lynn.
No, you're punting this ball.
Try and pin him down in there and make the Titans earn it by going the length of the field.
Brian Orakpo made that cackle. And 4th and 4, clock continues to move, coming up on 5 minutes to play in the 4th. Donnie Jones to kick it away, and Adoree Jackson is deep. Jones will try to put this one down inside the 10.
And Jones has been excellent throughout his career, pinning it down inside the 20, if not inside the 10.
Jackson fair catch call and made at about the 11 or 12 yard line. 4:55 to play here in regulation. How's Marcus Mariota's day looking to you, Coach?
Very good. I mean, he's done an excellent job of moving the ball around different receivers and breaking, containing, and getting out and making plays with his legs. Just 2 big drops. The interception was a shame because he had a really good play on. Melvin Ingram just made a great play, stopped, batted the ball on him. That's his only bad play of the game.
You know, I've been impressed, Coach, with his accuracy. Coming into this game and watching him on tape, there have been some times where he's been inaccurate, where the balls have been behind the receivers. I think today, as you mentioned, there's a couple of key drops that have had, but for the most part, he's been very accurate all day.
So the long field ahead of the Titans. 4:55 to play. They have 1 timeout remaining. They'll start it with Dion Lewis with a little running room straight ahead to about the 15. That'll be a pickup of 4. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Lots of time left on the clock for the Titans. That's why they're going back to the huddle. You want to make sure you get the right play. This isn't, you don't need to get into too much of a hurry, but you do want to get some tempo.
Just a little tempo because you're only down 6 points. 7 points. So you get your whole playbook. Clock's on your side. Just keep doing what you do best.
Lewis cuts it back and very close to first down yardage.
This isn't an offense that's built on throwing it 30 to 35 times a game anyway. So they've got plenty of time. The big thing is they only got the 1 timeout.
3rd and short. 3rd and very short. 4:05 and counting.
Adrian Phillips was overly aggressive with his angle, and they were able to get the cutback. They may get the charges. There were too many guys on the field. If they get the ball snap, nope.
Both Henry and Lewis in the backfield. They give it to the first man through, and that would look like Dion Laura. Let's see, Derrick Henry or Lewis? It is Derrick Henry for the first down. Now, at what point do you start to feel a little bit more urgency and begin to move it up a bit?
Well, now that they're out a little bit over the 20, I mean, it is time, I think. I'm surprised that they're huddling. I mean, they've got an up-tempo package in their offense. We saw them using it on Friday.
Yeah.
So right. I'm not sitting in the huddle right now taking all this time right now. We need to go.
We'll just call the play at the line of scrimmage. You don't have to go into a 2-minute mode, but just as we touched on, you
play
can
clock
do it with
down
tempo.
Play clock down to 5. They've got to hurry. On the play fake, Mariota pulls it down and is going to run. Has some room. And out of bounds at about the 35-yard line. That's enough for a first down. And someone's helmet is back at the 12-yard line.
Well, Trent, as long as it took them in the huddle, you knew it was a pass play because run plays don't take that long to call. But they were lucky. Corey Davis never got set. They could have got a penalty on that play.
Wow, Luke Stocker just appeared to pull the helmet off of Damian Square.
Yeah, Damian Square got that helmet knocked off. Generally, there's a hand to the face if your helmet's coming flying off.
First down from the 34. This is Lewis. Lewis with running room up the middle. Across midfield, inside the 45, inside the 35. What a run by Dion Lewis.
I think there should have been a late flag there with that second tackle. They had him down, then he continued over. You can see the Titans not real happy about that.
Well, I don't know this is quite the time to celebrate if you're Dion Lewis with time ticking off the clock.
Well, it's not, but I'm sure there was some irritation there. He broke through a number of tackles. You can see why he's excited. Titans now getting up to the line of scrimmage. They're going to have to get the ball snapped before the 2-minute warning, however.
36-yard pickup on the play. Mariota, sideline, wide open and out of bounds inside the 15-yard line is Tajay Sharp. Let's go back to that run by Lewis.
Doesn't break through. There's an arm tackle there that he gets through. Here he spins out. The Chargers are spending so much time. 3 defenders there trying to get the ball out. He goes down and then he bring him down again. I thought that's where the flag would come in on the second tackle there by King.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like the Chargers were losing. They were trying to tackle the ball.
All of
get
them
him
were,
down.
Right.
Again, great job by Matt LaFleur calling plays on this drive.
Henry caught from behind and wrestled down by Melvin Ingram. And that'll take us to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to play here at Wembley. Tennessee driving for a tying touchdown.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Bud Light, enjoyed by giant blue fictional knights everywhere.
The official tally here at Wembley Stadium today, 84,301.
And all 32 teams represented.
Yes.
Gotta love it coming out in the final 2 minutes of the game. Obviously 4-down territory, but we got to start thinking about 2 points or not 2 points if they end up getting in the end zone.
Yes, indeed.
Tennessee with 1 timeout remaining. Derrick Henry, the deep back. Henry inside the 10 to about the 8.
Well, run on first down, run on second down. You can tell they know this is 4-down territory.
Well, yeah, and again, wouldn't be surprised to see him run it again.
Run it again, right.
Another form of a read option with Marcus Mariota down here.
And you may be asking, why are they in the huddle? Well, LA has 3 timeouts, so you want to score, you want to get the touchdown, but you also don't want to leave a lot of time for Phillip Rivers.
Dion Lewis into the game, 12 carries for 92 yards so far for number 33. Mariota throwing over the middle inside the 5 to Tajay Sharp. That's enough for a first down, 1st and goal.
Well, Taylor Lewan's got to be careful there. He comes flying over the top of the pile trying to clean things up. He didn't make contact. The good thing is he missed everybody.
Yeah,
if he makes contact with somebody, that's got to be a flag.
That's been a point of emphasis for 3 years. That's dumb.
7 catches for 101 yards for Sharp. 55 seconds and counting.
If you don't run, you got Davis one-on-one.
Lewis for not much. 2nd and goal. And we have a whistle on the field, and timeout is called by Tennessee.
Well, they just switched it. It was called by LA. Yeah, because I was sitting here. I heard you say that. I looked out. I go, what are they doing calling a timeout?
So LA does call the timeout.
Chargers, 30-second timeout.
But I did see that official
Yes,
go
no,
ahead.
he did. You and I saw it. We both saw it. It's like, I'm like, why in the world? And Vrabel's over there going, we didn't call a timeout.
So Tennessee still has its timeout remaining. LA down to 2.
All right, let's get into the 2-point discussion, Coach. What do you do if you go ahead and take the tie and try and do this in overtime, or you go for 2 and get the lead?
I would take the tie as well as we've played in the second half. We've won the second half. We've pretty much dominated the second half. I'd gladly go to overtime if I'm Tennessee right now.
You know, I agree with you on that. I would kick the extra point, try and get it to overtime. You've already played 1 overtime game this year against the defending Super Bowl champions in the Eagles, and you got the win there. They've dominated or done a good job. Other than the big plays that the Chargers have gotten, they've done a really good job today.
But even as well as Tennessee has run the ball today from a couple of yards out, you might not go with Dion Lewis or Derrick Henry to run it in?
No, I'm going to overtime. I mean, that gives me 10 minutes to win the game. And defense have been playing good, been stopping them. Offense is on the move. If they get a touchdown, they're going to have a lot of momentum.
Tennessee right guard Josh Klein was just helped off the field. He's been replaced by Dennis Kelly. And Tennessee has just used its 3rd and final timeout.
But now Walt Coleman's coming over to talk to Vrabel.
So here's our situation. 43 on the clock. 2nd and goal from the 3. And Tennessee down 7.
That changes things, Trent, with no timeout now.
Yep, it definitely does. 43 seconds.
You have plenty of time to throw the ball inbounds and get at least 1 or 2 more plays going. But
if you go back to that same formation you had on the previous snap and you get Dion Lewis in the backfield, almost give that run pass option to Marcus Mariota.
We are told that they were charged the timeout with the injury to Klein. Yes. 2nd and goal. Dion Lewis in the backfield, full backfield now. Mariota going to throw it. Incomplete. Intended for Corey Davis. 3rd and goal.
Good job on the play action pass, backside slant. Just missed him.
It's an area you can make use of Mariota's running skills.
I think you do.
I don't think there's any doubt. Put him on the move. Run and pass.
And I'm okay with a run here, Coach. With 40 seconds left, you got plenty of time.
Sure.
Mariota up the middle, reaching for the end zone. Touchdown.
Hey, that's dangerous to swing the ball around like that, but you got to know the situation. You got to know the time when it's okay to take that risk.
Again, great job, Marcus Mariota. Saw the hole, took it, and breaks the tackle. He is so strong for a quarterback and does a great job of spinning and then reaching his right hand with the ball and getting it over the goal line.
Let's see on the review. See if he gets in before that arm. Watch the back of the left arm, the left elbow go down. The thing is, I think his elbow is going to go down, but it ends up landing on top of the defender as opposed to hitting the turf. Lands on top of square. Watch as it goes down. That left arm is on square. It's not on the turf.
His head may have hit the ground when the ball was up in the air. That's the only thing.
Well, his head and shoulder hit the ground, but it looks like you got to remember, it's just got to touch the white, the front of the white, just touch it.
They are taking a closer look.
Based on that, Coach, I don't see enough to overturn that. But
I don't either.
you and I aren't in New York to make that.
Well, for the first time all day, we've missed Gene Steratore. Gene, you there?
I am here. I am here.
What's your call, bud?
That left shoulder appears to me, from the angles that I'm looking at, that left shoulder appears to be down before that football crosses crosses the goal line, just as it is. Now, whether that's big enough, the angle looks pretty good. We have a good camera right down the goal line. It appears to me when Mariota's left shoulder hits the ground and that ball's straight in the air, that it may be just shy of that goal line. If I were ruling on it, I'd put him just shy.
So it potentially could be about 6 inches from the goal line then.
Yeah, and that's what I see. I know his legs are clear, and that's a hard play for an official working that, because you think the legs are going to be down at some point, but they are not. But as he's falling and reaching, if we see from the real good shot, the left shoulder appears to be down while the football is just shy right there.
After reviewing the play, the runner's left shoulder was down with the ball at the half-a-yard line.
Gene Steratore, you are right on the money.
For 25 seconds.
So the Titans are out of the huddle at the 1 yard line. 4th and goal.
Well, it's 4th down here. I don't think you're in any hurry if you're Tennessee to get this ball snapped.
If the fans here are upset, think of how they're feeling back in Nashville.
Yes, indeed. And this is do or die. This is the last play. So, like you said, Trent, if you can run this clock down and make this the last play of the game, we win or go to overtime or we lose.
Lewis alongside Mariota.
When I say we win and go, getting to overtime is a win for them right now.
That's right. Well, and I'd almost do like a muddle huddle. Have them all close together. Say, listen, we're going to break this thing around 15 seconds. Get to the line of scrimmage. Give yourself some time.
Yeah, if Anthony Lynn is going to probably run down and take a timeout once his defense sees where they're at and how they're lined up.
Here we go. Mariota with Lewis alongside in the backfield. And now Walt Coleman going to take a little trip over to Coach Lynn.
Coach, I don't know about you. Right now, the way they're lined up in the shotgun formation from inside the 1, I tend to favor that. Get underneath the center. You've only got that far to go. All of a sudden, you're putting yourself.
The Chargers are taking a timeout for there not to be a 10-second runoff. So please reset the clock to 35 seconds. 35 seconds.
So LA now with 2 timeouts remaining. We got 1 timeout back. How'd that happen?
They had the injury timeout to the guard from Tennessee during the other stoppage. So they lost their timeout, and the Chargers got theirs back.
Well, with 35 seconds and now the clock being stopped, you can line up and run whatever you want. But I go back to my point. You're a half yard away from having a chance to either tie this thing up or take the lead, depending on what you do with the extra point. They're going to be in a shotgun at the 5-yard line.
So much of their stuff is read option.
Oh, it is, yeah, and I understand that.
And if you're throwing it, wouldn't you rather be in the gun if you pretty much know you're getting cover 0, especially?
But that's the question. Are you throwing it here if you're Tennessee, or do you rely on a big day that Lewis has had?
Coach, you're going to have to pick me up if they throw it on 4th and half a yard.
I think you're going to get some form of a read option.
Right.
And probably with some kind of motion to affect the linebacker's eyes when the ball is snapped.
I think you're going to get Mariota or Derrick Henry right up the middle.
Tennessee trying to snap a 2-game losing streak. Here we go, 4th and goal. Play fake, throwing, caught, touchdown! Luke Stocker, the tight end.
Hold on, let me get up off the ground.
Yeah, they got in their goal line offense and did a great job with the corner flat route with the 2 tight ends back there.
Well, Rashad Jenkins is right in position. He's actually in between the 2 tight ends that are both one's in the flat, one's in the corner.
Tennessee's got their offense out there.
Yeah, I don't see a
They're
kicker.
going for 2. They're going for the win. That surprises me with as well as they dominated this second half.
Well, they're going for the lead. There's still 31 seconds left in L.A. with a couple timeouts in their pocket. So they're going for it, though.
Win or lose, I say good for Mike Vrabel.
That's right, yeah.
I don't know. I'm going to overtime as well as we're playing right now.
You and I are on the same page. We're
playing
overtime.
really good.
Here we go. Mariota with time. Buying more time. Penalty flags are down in the end zone. He throws. Incomplete. Let's check the flags.
I think there was holding on whoever was covering Dion Lewis out in the flat.
Prior to the pass, holding number 26 defense. After distance from the goal, we will extend the game for another play.
The penalty is on Casey Hayward, the Charger cornerback.
Yeah, he grabbed him before Marcus got out of the huddle. If Marcus Mariota was out of the huddle, then he could push and grab and knock him out of bounds. But he did it while he was in the pocket.
So half the distance to the goal.
Again.
And this
Watch
time
for the quarterback
empty.
sneak right here, Trent.
Mariota looking around, end zone, tipped and incomplete.
We'll give credit to Mike Vrabel and being aggressive, but trying to hit a slant in the back of the end zone just wasn't there for the Titans.
Yeah, again, you're back on the 1-yard line. For me, I'm doing what I do best, and that's run the football. Somehow, with a big running back in Derrick Henry and Marcus Mariota's legs on the option. But again, to me, that's bad football, not taking this game to overtime from Mike Vrabel, as well as they played in the second half. They've won this second half, so why take that risk of going for 2? Now you lose the ball game.
Adrian Phillips is the Charger who got a hand on the pass. So it's 20-19 Chargers. And we fully expect an onside kick coming up here by the Titans.
And we talked about it last week. The new kickoff rules making onside kicks a lot harder because you cannot get a running start to get down and catch the ball while it's up in the air.
Bouncing ball fallen on by the Chargers' Keenan Allen. And that should wrap things up for LA's 5th win of the season. Started quickly for the Chargers today, and it wasn't easy. You know what I think, Coach, and you and I have talked about this off the air, what I like about going for 2 there, if you go to overtime, you may never touch the football.
Yeah, but right now, my defense is playing great in the second half. I mean, we've held them 2 out of 3 last drives. I love where my defense is to get me the ball back and give me good field position. And if we can't stop them, not get the ball back, and they get a touchdown, we don't deserve to win.
Well, and this was an excellent football game. You look at the balance. Tennessee had 68 snaps against LA's 44 snaps. It was the formula that the Titans needed to keep this thing as close as they did all the way to the end, and the defense of the Chargers coming up big on the 2-point play.
Mike Vrabel's Tennessee Titans come up a point shy here in Wembley. They will fall to 3-4 on the season, while the Los Angeles Chargers win for the 4th straight outing. 20-19 is the final score. We're back to Wembley Stadium in London to wrap things up right after this.